she won an Oscar when she was just 21, and that was just the beginning of her amazing career in Hollywood. For more than 30 years, she's been breaking down barriers and fighting for representation. Please welcome back to DBL Marlee Matlin and her interpreter, Jack Jason. So, Marlee, before we begin, Marlee, I just casually over your shoulder, your Oscars sitting there. Is that where you keep your Oscar, or is that just for DBL?
It's where I keep my Oscar most of the time, especially when my kids and their friends come over and they've never seen one. So I sort of bring it out and say, take a picture. Your mom and dad are going to be impressed.
I love the honesty. I love it.
That is so cool. Never mind the Oscar. You've also had an amazing 2022. So I want to know, what are your goals or wishes for 2023?
2023, my goal is for it to be more productive, more work for deaf people, and more directing jobs for me, perhaps.
We love it. We love to watch your journey.
Good health is important at the end of the day.
Yes, absolutely. Well, let's talk about Henry Winkler, because he has been on our show several times, and he's a mentor of yours. So you even lived at his home at one point. What's Henry like at home?
I can see 30 years of a friendship. No, it's actually more than 30 years. It's a lot more. My math is bad, but I met him when I was 12 years old. And we kept in touch all those years, and I'm 57. But anyway, he is the coolest person on the face of this earth. He has been a friend, a second father. He's just an amazing guy who always has an answer for everything.
Okay, well, you know, you won an Oscar as an actress in 1987, and your film Coda won an Oscar last year. So I have to ask you, and this is a tough choice, which win was more emotional? Because I can't imagine.
Well, I mean, you're talking about getting an Oscar when you're 21 years old. So you're connecting with all those emotions and, you know, that. And now you're talking about emotions that are connected with being a 57-year-old. I could say that I appreciate the fact of the Oscar much more this time, because it did so much more for the community than my win as a single actor. Now we're talking about 3 actors. And I think it was just everybody coming together and supporting each other that was so emotional for me for Coda last year. We're really, you know, clued into accessibility. We're talking about inclusivity. We're talking about more representation. Coda just really blew open the doors. It's just a whole different experience from when back then and now.
So, Marlee, you had an amazing career already. You're still climbing that ladder. The TV show Accused is your first time stepping behind the camera as a director. What was the biggest challenge you faced?
The biggest challenge as a director was to be able to show that I was going to be there on time. I had to be on time. I had to make sure I was there. It was an interesting challenge for me, because I could say 99% of the time I was on time every day on set. That was great. 12 hours, 13 hours a day, everything went smoothly. I was very proud of myself. It was one of the things I was so most proud of. But no, actually, it was a great experience working with everybody on the set, working from, you know, with the cast, with the crew, with Howard Gordon, with Sony, with Fox, with the writers. It was just an amazing experience. And I'm so glad that this is my first directing experience. It turned out so well.
And I need to ask, why did you choose Accused as your directing debut?
I didn't really choose it. I was offered it to direct it, and I chose to say yes. So yes, your question is correct. Yes, I did choose it. It was just the perfect vehicle. The perfect vehicle to be able to make my directorial debut, having to do with the fact that it told a great and compelling story with deaf characters, a story that hasn't been told on television before, and I think it was an important issue. So it was all perfect. It was all perfect.
Well, Marlee, congratulations on your TV directing debut and your friends over your shoulder there.
Yes.
DBL Nation Accused airs on Fox starting on January 22nd, and don't miss an episode. Marlee and Jack, thank you so much, as always.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.